Thank you, Honorable, for agreeing to do this interview. Let's start, first of all, by talking about the issue of Boko Haram in Nigeria. How do you think that the government is handling this terrorist group so far?
Very badly, because there are two Boko Harams. Visible Boko Haram, led by Shekau. Invisible Boko Haram, led by Jonathan Goodluck. So, which means the government can never do anything that will tame the Boko Haram. Absolutely.
Why did you say that the government is also Boko Haram?
Well, you remember very well, the president himself said that there are Boko Haram members in his cabinet, and we're yet to see who they are. He has not handed them over to the police. And as I speak to you now, there is not one person that is being prosecuted, one high up level person that is probably in jail for Boko Haram. And as I speak to you today, people are being killed in Kano, where I live, in Maiduguri, in Yola, in Yobe, in all these states and other towns in the northern part of the country. And the government is doing nothing. And the military, I was in Maiduguri for 6 weeks, and I've seen the condition of our soldiers there. You know the government is not serious in tackling Boko Haram, and the menace will not go.
I want to talk about the missing girls. It's been like 4 months now. Do you think that they are doing anything at all?
Well, I think, yes, they are talking, making noise, but doing things on the ground, I don't think so. As I speak to you as well, not one military officer is in Sambisa forest. They have never ever been there. Never. They have never been to the forest where the Boko Haram members are. The government knows. So how do they tackle it? And you see, the unfortunate part of it is that the Nigerian military would rather go on the street and kill you and I. Last week in Zaria, they went and killed Zakzaki people, his 3 children, and or on the road, on the street, or in Lagos with bus drivers and so on. In other parts of the country, taking money from public, Muslim people. But to go to Sambisa and fight, they will not, because the leader of Boko Haram, the invisible, who is Jonathan Goodluck, invisible Boko Haram leader, will not give them funds, necessary ammunition to go and work or to go and fight.
He recently asked for another $1 billion to fight Boko Haram. Do you think that he's not using the money for what he claims that he's going to use the money for, or do you think he just did not give them the order to go after the girls?
Well, they have already appropriated more than $1 trillion. More than 1 trillion naira between 2009 to date to fight Boko Haram. But what are they doing? They're just having parties, coming to Washington just like with the 70, 80 persons to come and spend people's money. Or what are they doing again? Maybe the First Lady going on Jamboree. What are they doing again? Celebration of Nigeria 100 years. What are they doing again? Making sure President acquires another aircraft. What are they doing again? $20 billion that were said to have been missing, instead of the president to ask for where is the money. What he did, sack Sanusi. What he did, sack the minister, the MD of NNPC. What he did, this is the only country that in 4 years you had 4 MDs of NNPC, but the Minister of Petroleum has never been questioned. These kind of things. So this is where the money is going to. Now, the president is looking for another $1 billion to steal the way they have been stealing the country. If the president is serious, he should ask for the whereabouts of the 20 billion and probably take from that 20 billion and use whatever he wants to do for the military. But he is not going to do that because he's not serious. He does not want peace in this country. That's why I am in Washington to solicit the assistance and the cooperation of President Obama to arrest President Jonathan Goodluck, to ensure he doesn't go back to Nigeria. Because if the American government will be after Mugabe, will be after Bashir of Sudan with even an arrest warrant on him, there are no more people killed in Sudan than in Nigeria. So if the United States government is serious, if the international community is serious, the person to be arrested is here in Washington. They should arrest him. We shall provide evidence against Jonathan Goodluck with blood in his hands. The country we emulate, US, you could see how they deployed the resources to bring in 2 American citizens from Liberia that are affected by Ebola. 2. As I speak to you now, probably 100 Nigerians are killed, and nothing is happening. And you mean this man will be walking the streets of the greatest democracy in the world? I mean, the American government is not serious if they allow him to go back.
I'm glad you talked about the Washington summit going on, because I was just about to ask you about that. First of all, what do you think about the whole idea of inviting African leaders here? And second of all, do you think anything good can come out of this for regular Nigerians on the street?
Well, the American government is doing it for its own interest, just like the Chinese also did this kind of conference in their own interest, the African leaders and Chinese leaders, is to foster economic gains of these countries. But whether the African leaders, will also seek for an opportunity to enhance Africans, that's another thing. Some African countries will do, but certainly the leadership of Nigeria will not do anything to ensure you and I, ordinary Nigerians, benefit from this kind of jamboree.
They've been saying that Nigeria now has the biggest economy in Africa, and it's been some months now. We're not seeing the effect of that yet. So I'm just wondering your view about how they've been saying Nigeria is the biggest economy now, and also the fact that you're saying that coming here doesn't really translate into anything good for common Nigerians.
The economic indices in Nigeria is different from reality. The economic indices, inflation, whatever inflation figure or any economic indices Okonjo-Iweala tells you or President Jonathan tells you is total lie, because they don't even know what they're doing. Economic indices should show the number of jobs created in a month, the number of people that can feed, the number of children that can go to school, how many hospitals are. As I speak to you now, doctors in Nigeria are on strike.
For more than a month.
For more than a month. I mean, the polytechnic lecturers, more than 1 year, they decided on their own to come back to work, because nobody cares. So this is the country where nobody cares about anything. How can they come and tell you that we are the biggest economy? I am telling you, Niger Republic economy is better than that of Nigeria, because at least average Niger people, they can feed, they can send their children to school. Those that can afford can have electricity. But in my country, this is the only country in the whole world that no matter how rich you are, you could be inconvenienced. Because if you have the best car in the country, it could break down and nobody could fix it for you. Absolutely, because you have no road to fly it. If you have the best house, you could... Absolutely. So that's what I'm telling you. So where are the economic indices? Who will tell you that we are the biggest economy? No. If you say we have the greatest looters of the economy, that I agree. The president is proud to say that we are the second country with the largest number of private aircrafts. Those kind of nonsense. I mean, if your president will pride himself in saying, look, my country has private jets. I mean, as if that has got nothing to do with anything to do with economic indices. If you have 1% of the population of about 200 million stealing, taking the money, bluntly, I mean, like poking their hands, the fingers into the eyes of the masses, that you can go to hell, do your worst. Yes, we have stolen. There is nothing you can do, and we can bring the military to crush you. Instead of them to send military to Sambisa, they use them against us. Let's
talk a bit about the upcoming election. I know you've been saying that the candidate for presidency has to be from the north. And a lot of people have been wondering, why must it be somebody from the north?
There could be a good Christian leader, and there could be a bad Muslim leader. There could be a good southern leader, or there could be a bad northern leader. I mean, I am sure we can have somebody better than Jonathan Goodluck from Utuoke, his village. All we are saying is got nothing to do with where you come from. But the way Nigeria is framed, I mean, Jonathan Goodluck is from the southern part of the country, a Christian. Obasanjo, southern part of the country, a Christian. He's been there for 8 years. Jonathan been there for close to 8 years. And for semblance of unity.
What about Yaradua?
Yeah, well, Yaradua was there for maybe 2 years, so if you calculate from the time the civilians started in 1999 to date, only Yaradua, who comes from the north, a Muslim, so the people in the north feel like this time it's the turn of the North. But if Jonathan Goodluck had led us well, nobody would have even thought of North or any other person. No, but he's not leading us well. It's got nothing to do with where he comes from. I, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, went to court to get judgment against my Fulani man, late Eradua, for him to be acting president of Nigeria. I got judgment
in favor of
Jonathan Goodluck. I had never, before then I've never met him. Up till this time, I met him only once, about a month and a half ago, at a conference for political parties that he called. I went with Jana Buhari. That's where I saw him for the first time in my life. And I have never seen Jonathan Goodluck in my life. So I did it for my country. I didn't do it for Jonathan. So it's got nothing to do where he comes from. But he is incompetent leader as a nation. I mean, our leader as a Nigerian. Incompetent from Utuoke. Utuoke, I'm sure, can produce better.
So who do you think could be a good candidate in this coming election besides the president? Because it looks from all indications that Mr. President would probably contest again. So against him, who do you think could be a good candidate?
Any candidate that is, certainly it's going to be a candidate from APC. And we also have an unwritten constitution APC, that this time around, a candidate from the North will fly the flag of APC. So whoever the candidate emerges from APC will certainly beat Jonathan. Anybody can beat Jonathan. Because if it's performance that will matter, for him to tell us what he did, nobody will vote for Jonathan Goodluck. Absolutely. Because we have no government in Nigeria.
What if the president wins again?
Well, if Nigerians vote for him, so be it. We're practicing democracy. There's nothing we can do. As of today, I didn't vote for him, but he's my president. There's nothing we can do. He's the president. Yes, he's the president. But I pray Nigerians don't make that mistake again.
I see. What are some things that you feel like they should concentrate on right now in Nigeria? Just some basic things that you think they should just take care of now.
Leadership by example. Now, the president, first of all, to declare his assets. To lead by example. What I'm saying, leading by example. If Nigerians are crying out against the Minister of Petroleum, what is wrong in him investigating her? To prove to the whole world that, look, this woman is squeaky clean. That's all we're saying. What is wrong in Mr. President telling us exactly what is in the kitty of government today and what they are doing with the money? You know, those guys, you have to start from that. You have to start from the basic things. You have to start from the as little as the number of delegation he's carrying out. When president is moving, the kind of convoy he goes about with.
Like here that he came to.
Exactly. You know, you carry 70, 80 people to America. Or when you're moving in, even in Nigeria, you carry 200 cars. The fueling is done by us. I mean, you have to start from basic thing that people think is nothing. But you have to start from somewhere, because when you see a jeep moving, that's a cottage industry in the village. If they use that money, it can produce water, clean water, for my people to drink in Utuoke, where he comes from. So, I mean, that's what I mean. Start with that. Then fight corruption. Abide by the oath of office and oath of allegiance. Without fear or favor. Is he doing that? No. Sanusi asked for 20 billion. What did he get? He was sacked. You know, and up till now, nobody has shown us that, look, Sanusi was telling the truth or he was lying. All they did is to make sure he goes, and he left, and nothing happens. Committees upon committees, and nothing will come out of it. This is the only country also that the solution to a problem is a committee.
It's a committee.
Yes. There is Chibok girls that are missing. Committee to find out how many girls are missing. Committee to ascertain the parents, whether the parents are still there. Another committee also to take care of the parents. Another committee to ensure, you know, committees upon committees, you know, while you have government agencies dedicated to do all these kind of things. How can, you know, so you have to, a government has to be, what I'm saying, oath of office, oath of allegiance. If he abides by that, that would be.
So you should declare asset and fight corruption.
Absolutely. I mean, because look, our major problem is corruption. If they fight the corruption, everything will fall in place. If Mr. President is accused, I mean, like when he came into power, how many houses did he have? How many does he have now? Those kind of things. How can president effectively challenge anybody in government? If, as I speak to you now, there is not one former governor that is in jail in Nigeria because of corruption. Because some of them are accused of corruption. They were in government, so they had immunity. Now they are out of government. Only one that was prosecuted in the UK. You remember know what I'm saying? You remember in Nigeria, they said 160 cases where he was discharged and acquitted. And in UK, he's in prison. So, I mean, if there are no living example for fight against corruption, how can any governor or any government official, see some precedents that, look, if you do anything wrong, you cannot go scot-free. But in Nigeria, you do things wrong and you go scot-free. In fact, on top of that, you buy an aircraft. That's the status symbol.
Former Governor Lamesia was released.
Not only released, he was released, he was also pardoned. State pardon, that he did nothing. He is one of the elites in Nigeria now. And this is the president that also we have who does not see himself as president of Nigeria. If I, a Muslim Fulani man, can go to court in his favor for Nigeria, I see no reason why him, last week when El Zaki's 3 children were killed, massacred on the street of Zaria, nothing happened. If children of Edwin Clark or Orisha Jeffo are killed, do you think we would have had peace in Nigeria today? No, but the president is not president of Nigeria. Unfortunately, he's probably president of Ijo.